Welcome back. For too long, history has told us a simple story. Human civilization started with agriculture around 11,000 years ago, following the last ice age. But what if the evidence for advanced builders during the last glacial maximum? The peak of the ice age is right beneath our feet in Southeast Asia. Today we're presenting the case, the names, the numbers, and the contested data that suggests a lost civilization in the massive, now partially submerged, continent known as Sundaland. Our focus begins on Java, Indonesia, at Gunung Padang. While the visible five-layered terraced structure is conventionally dated to the late prehistoric period, perhaps around 1500 BC to 100 BC, that's not the structure causing the controversy. The true challenge comes from the geological investigation led by Dr. Danny Hillman Natawijaja, a senior geologist with a PhD from Caltech. Beginning in 2011, his team used ground-penetrating radar, GPR, and seismic tomography and found significant subterranean anomalies, multiple, distinct, man-made layers buried deep within the hill. They conducted core drilling and extracted organic material, like burned wood fragments, from the fill between the columnar stones. Here is the key data that challenges the timeline: radiocarbon dating of samples from the deepest layer, what the team calls Layer 4, found around 15 meters below the surface, yielded dates between 28,000 and 14,500 years before present BP. This places its construction squarely in the last glacial maximum. The argument here is explicit: a massive, sophisticated structure utilizing advanced masonry skills to arrange heavy andesite and basalt columns in multiple phases existed in Indonesia up to 28,000 years ago. This is the data that forces us to question the textbook timeline of civilization. Why is that date so crucial? Because it aligns perfectly with the Sundaland hypothesis. During the Ice Age, global sea levels were over 120 meters lower than today. Southeast Asia wasn't a scatter of islands. It was Sundaland, a vast, exposed continental shelf, a landscape of rivers, forests, and a rich environment ideal for a complex society to flourish. The catastrophic meltwater floods beginning around 18,000 years ago and continuing through the Younger Dryas event around 12,900 years ago submerged this world, leaving places like Gunung Padang built on high ground as the only remaining evidence. These events are thought to be the source of ancient flood myths found across the region. Academics argue the carbon dates apply only to the soil, not the structure. But proponents point to the volcanic stone columns and the clearly engineered layering as the evidence of construction, arguing that finding organic material within the construction fill strongly suggests human activity at that time. Now let's pivot to another different kind of megalithic evidence that screams of a lost culture: the Bada Valley in Sulawesi. Unlike the architectural controversy of Gunung Padang, the mystery here is one of scale and origin. Scattered across the valley are hundreds of huge volcanic stone statues, megaliths ranging from simple rocks to highly stylized human figures. Their age is still debated, but the sheer effort required suggests a settled, organized society. These were not simply carved and forgotten. Local legends about figures like Tokala Ea, the megalith, said to have been a person turned to stone, represent a deep, enduring cultural connection to these monuments. They point to a complex belief system tied to ancestral worship, suggesting a sophisticated, non-literate culture that may have emerged from the very early settlements of Sundaland before the final floods separated the islands. Finally, our last stop in Cambodia, Cabal Speen, is a testament to how these ancient beliefs can evolve. In the Kulin Hills, high above Angkor, the sandstone riverbed is carved with hundreds of lingas phallic symbols representing Shiva. While the visible carvings date to the 11th and 12th centuries AD, they continue an ancient ritualistic practice, blessing the water that flows over the sacred stone before it feeds the civilization below. It is a connection between the mountains, the sacred stones, and the life-giving water, a theme common in megalithic cultures across the region, perhaps echoing the reverence of an earlier, lost ancestor culture that survived the Ice Age floods. The evidence from the controversial 28,000-year-old dates out of Gunung Padang to the colossal, enigmatic statues of Bada Valley strongly suggests that complex human organization and advanced construction existed in Southeast Asia during the Ice Age. It's an argument for a lost advanced civilization on Sunderland, one that demands a serious reassessment of our global human history. The stones are speaking, but the academic debate is far from over. What is your take on the data? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.